The death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has sent shockwaves around the US, as many remember her legacy. It has also brought further uncertainty to the presidential campaign trail. For more on this, we're joined by US contributor Michael Ware. Michael, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So how has America reacted to her death?
Well, I can tell you that since the announcement of her passing on Friday night, it's almost been as if the breath has been sucked out of this country for a moment. The entire nation is in mourning. This is a woman who, though she barely stood 5 feet tall, she was a colossus in American history. It was her work, litigating a series of cases in the Supreme Court itself in the 70s, when she was still a lawyer, that established equal rights for women here in America under the Constitution. But she's not just an icon for women and for equal rights issues, but she also, in her later years, became a surprising cultural icon. Now, it doesn't matter which side of the political aisle you come from. By and large, everyone here can acknowledge the oversized role that this incredible woman played in this country. And though she was a Liberal judge, part of a 4-person minority on the 9-person court, you know, most Conservatives see their jurists through the prism of 2 questions: abortions and guns. And for Conservatives, she was on the wrong side of those questions. But nonetheless, everyone can recognise the enormous contribution she made to this country. And perhaps in a hint to, or a nod to, certainly knowing what might come after her death, 2 days before she passed away, she dictated a note to her granddaughter where she said it was her fervent wish that she is not replaced until a new president is installed, Peter.
Oh, OK, so how does that affect the election? Donald Trump, he's vowed to quickly nominate a successor despite opposition from the Democrats.
In many ways, this has completely upended the election. I mean, just as soon as people were expressing their mourning and sorrow at the loss of Justice Ginsburg, very quickly, just as quickly, their minds turned to the election. Now, this is a thorny issue. I mean, some people see what's happening with the Trump administration has announced, with the support of the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, to rush through a Conservative nomination to replace her just 45 days out from an election. Now, that's almost unheard of. We saw 4 years ago in the presidential election in 2016, in February, when the primaries were still underway, the Obama administration wanted to nominate a new judge. But at the insistence of Mitch McConnell from the Senate, on the grounds that we cannot have a president decide our next Supreme Court nominee while the people have yet to speak at an election. This year, that same Republican Party and the Trump administration is racing ahead with the nomination. They want to get it in before the election. The new justice won't be installed or appointed before the election, but they want to have the Judiciary Committee sign off on that nomination. Okay. And that has completely changed the landscape of this election. Guns and abortion are surging to the front, and Trump based a huge part of his political platform on getting Conservative judges onto the benches around this country. And there's none more important than the Supreme Court. OK, Michael,
we've got to hold it there. We've got to hit an ad break, but appreciate your time this morning. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday.